Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted. Everybody around me thugging. Everybody around me drugging. Everybody around me hustling. Everybody know not to bring no new riggin' around me. They say I be bugging. Got racks in the go-yard luggage. Just cause I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Quentin Flores, and this is Uncut with Q. If you've been watching our show for a while, if you've been listening on our show, I'll be honest with y'all, we haven't gotten a lot of love on YouTube lately, and we've been posting full-length episodes on YouTube. You can find live episodes of Uncut with Q on YouTube. Don't sleep on the visuals. We work really fucking hard putting the show together. And so if you see us both looking badass, it's because I have a whole team that's behind me right now, Infinite Productions, shout out, that's putting the shit together, okay? And so with that being said, man, if this is your first time watching, we have multiple different types of shows, but we also have what's called a fee. And so the fee for the show is very simple. If you get value from this show, we don't run ads. I literally don't run ads. I've gotten offers. I've turned down, I'm talking like big time sponsorship opportunities where people were wanting to sponsor our podcast. I told them, no, I want to have full control of the outcome of the show. And we do this for the people, you know? So if you get value from this, all we ask, and it's very, very simple, you share the shit out of this show. All right. If it made you think, if it gave you perspective, if it changed your current reality, if it makes you stay awake at night because you were just like, holy fuck, then hell yeah. Run it up, guys, and share this show. That's how we get this thing out there. I believe that the world operates better on a sense of value exchange, meaning we do good for you. You go out there and you do something for us. All right. Now, if we don't do good, then don't fucking share the show. Anyways, this is one of those awesome shows where I have a guest that's on the, it's a full length. Today's full length. So I have an awesome guest and she's coming in. She's local here, San Antonio. Go on ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
Hi, my name is Maria. I am the owner of Maria's Meal Preps. I've been in business since 2019, and this is what I do for a living.
I think that's pretty badass. Yeah. Dude, I love cooking. Like, I think that's something that not a lot of people know, but like, dude, I wasn't fat, like just to be fat. Like I wasn't eating unhealthy shit. I was eating really, really good, and I would make my food most of the time, you know? Did you always think that you were going to be like into cooking when you were younger?
Never
or like, how did all this even come about? Like, I want to know the origin of this. And first off, where are you from?
I am from Mexico, a small town. Can you say it?
No, wait. Okay, we talked about this off the camera. Hold on.
Coahuila.
Coahuila.
Yeah, San Pedro, Coahuila.
That's badass.
So it's a small little town by Piedras Negras. My parents came here when I was very little, and they've been in the restaurant industry their whole life. They've ran a couple of restaurants, and I've just always grown up with that environment.
What kind of restaurants were they?
Mexican restaurants.
Gotcha. And in Mexico or here in America?
Here.
Wow. Yeah. What's the name of the restaurant?
Their most popular one was Southwest Cafe. It was right by my high school. So it was like the teachers would go eat their lunch and all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did anybody at school ever ask you for like a hookup on food because they knew that your parents were there?
The teachers would always go and tell me stuff about like my parents. They would always go snitch on me to my parents when I would like if I was doing something bad because they were always there with my parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody always wanted food. So that was my life growing up.
When did you have the introduction to like that this was what you were going to do? Like how did any of this food prep stuff come about?
So I started working with my parents and helping them out when I was 12 years old, like in the summer. On
12 working at the restaurant?
Mm-hmm. I used to do like the little salsita cups. I would help them answer the phone, do to-go orders, pack up the food to go. My brother was a cashier. My sister was a waitress. My brother used to help them cook. It was a family business, so we would all help them.
That's awesome.
And then I hated it growing up because I on the summer I couldn't go to Fiesta Texas. I couldn't do anything with my friends because I was always working. So I would always cry and be like, I hate this. I never want to do this. And now look at me. God. I'm doing it for a living. So it's just funny how that happened. But yeah, my mom never let us cook growing up. She would always cook for us. So I never really like learned from her. It was more like, I guess it just came naturally. And I just feel like now that I'm older, by cooking, it's the way I show people that I love them. So
wow.
I love to cook for people that I love. So
there's this movie that you should watch, and it's with Brittany Murphy. You know, Brittany Murphy had passed away years ago, but she was a phenomenal actor. She starred in this movie called Ramen Girl. I think it's called Ramen Girl. Anyways, in that movie, she ends up befriending a guy online falls in love with him, and then he invites her to come and live with him in Japan, in like a little apartment that's right above a ramen store. So turns out this guy was married the entire time that he was talking to her,
God.
and she like sold everything and moved to Japan to be with this guy. And then this guy goes and leaves with his wife somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
Just leaves her there. She doesn't even have enough money to fly back. And so the ramen place down the stairs decides to employ Brittany Murphy and basically teach her how to cook ramen. And so the ramen master, the ancient Japanese ramen master guy that runs the shop, he'll come in and he'll taste the broth. And so if the broth isn't cooked with love and it's cooked with like blandness, he can taste it that it's bland.
Yeah.
And then like it's funny because she's actually like going through like a depressive episode over the situation, and she makes the broth, and that master comes in to try to taste it, and like everybody in the restaurant's crying because they're feeling her pain through her food,
Yeah.
right? And so she's learning how to cook and how to fall in love with the food and how to really present something that makes people feel better. And so she finally makes like the perfect bowl of ramen that's filled with love, and everybody that comes in and eats it, they're just like automatically happy. I think that there's like a lot of subliminal messages inside of that movie that really states how powerful the food is to you psychologically when you're actually looking forward to eating it. You know what I'm saying? And so like, man, I mean, I love what you're talking about, cooking it with love and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, and it was something that I never pictured myself doing for a living at all, but I'm here now and I actually enjoy it a lot, and I'm doing pretty good with it too, so I don't want to stop anytime soon.
I want to go to the origin of that. You know, somebody asked you to cook food for you. How did that happen?
So my husband and I, we've always been into like working out, hiking. That was kind of like the way him and I would spend time together. When we had a dog, we would take him to the park all the time. So we were always into like working out, and I've always meal prepped for us, not to like an extreme meal prep like I do now, but it would be like, 3-4 meals for like the week, or like just to have something for work. And then I had decided to stop bartending, and I went into real estate. So while I was working with this real estate team, I noticed that we were eating out a lot. We were spending a lot of money on fast food. We would have a lot of meetings at restaurants, and I started telling myself, like, I'm gonna gain weight and like lose track of my health by eating like bad all the time and spending a lot of money. And then I ended up coming out pregnant. So when I was pregnant, I was just like, okay, you know what? The best way for me to stay like in track is if I meal prep for myself. So I started meal prepping while I was working with the real estate company, and then everybody in the office would like smell me like the food like when I would warm it up, and they all wanted to try it. So they were like, hey, can you meal prep for us? Like, I feel like you'll save us a lot of money, because they would go to Chick-fil-A, they would go to like restaurants,
adds up.
Yeah, I was spending about $45-50 a day on like breakfast, lunch, and then if we had like cold calls at night, we would go buy more food too, So then I was just like, if I'm not selling these houses, like I can't be eating like this all the time. So they started ordering meals from me, and then my husband was like, why don't you just start a Facebook page and like see if other people want to order for you, since you're going to be cooking for them. And I was just like, I don't know if people are going to like my food. Like, that's weird. I was so shy. I was like, I don't think I can do that. And he was like, just try it. Like, whatever happens, And then the first week I posted it on Facebook. All my family and friends shared it. I had to prep like 300 meal preps.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was already like 6 months pregnant at that time.
6 months and you're making 300 meals.
Yeah, from my home kitchen. And I was like, my stomach was big. I was tired. I was working real estate Monday through Friday. I was doing my meal preps on the weekends, and I would deliver them. My husband owns a delivery service, so he was helping me with the deliveries. And I never had a day off, pretty much. And then my daughter was born, and we went to the hospital because she was preemie. So we were there for a month with her, and they asked me if I wanted to go back into the office, and I said no. I wasn't ready for it, because I wanted to spend time with my daughter. So then that happened, and they asked me if I had to choose whether to be known as Maria the Realtor or Maria's Meal Preps, because there can only be one. and I chose Maria's Meal
Dang.
Preps, and I never went back to real estate ever since then. Yeah.
You know, truthfully, man, there's like a lot of good money that you can make from doing this. I'm sure you're already reaping the rewards of it. You know, you've also been featured in like the news and stuff like that too, right?
Yes.
Like, you know, I think it's just such an amazing transformation to like to move away from something. Did you go to school to do the real estate stuff too?
Yeah, I went to the classes. I sold one house in that whole time I was working
Wow.
there. This was back in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after my daughter was born, they wanted me to go back full time, and I couldn't because I wanted to be home with my daughter. So I noticed that with my own business, I was able to be at home with her and still have a business to run at the same time.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that time is such a valuable asset, and a lot of people don't realize that like once you spend 1 hour, it's like gone.
Yeah.
And when you're in real estate, especially in the like the realtor space,
Yeah.
I'm a real estate investor. It's a little bit different, you know. My office is right across the way. We do a bunch of real estate deals every month, but if there's one thing that I can see, because I've seen the other side of the spectrum from visiting multiple real estate offices that I've worked with here in town, it's a very time-consuming business. And then there's like, you know, a lot of paperwork that's involved, and then you're dealing with multiple personalities and whatnot. I mean, I know you got the same thing. Probably you're dealing with multiple people too for the food stuff. But I don't think anybody can be that mad about you, like mad at you if you're making food this amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tried the Buffalo Ranch with mac and cheese with the broccoli.
Where's Aaron? Is he in here? It's his favorite.
That's Aaron's favorite meal, right? It's now my favorite meal too. I'm not even gonna lie. That shit goes too hard. I love it. And it's so like, you know, as far as like the time frame that it takes to do that versus being in like an office and then being away from you said your daughter, right? You know, I mean, if I had to flip the coin too, I would go with what made me the most amount of money in the least amount of time, and where I was more free to watch my kid grow up. I sacrificed so much time at the beginning of my son's life because my son's 7 now, and I sacrificed a lot of time. I wish I could have gotten that time back.
Yeah.
You know, because that's very precious. Being a parent is a lot. There's a big responsibility there.
Yeah.
I do have an amazing wife, and she takes care of my boy pretty much full time. And my son knows he loves me, knows that I love him, and that I know that he loves me too. But I mean, it is like, you know, it's like a sacrifice sometimes. But I wish I wouldn't have had to made that. I wish I'd been more conscious of the decisions that I was making.
Yeah.
You know, so you get into that food prep business, and now you're starting to do all these things. How did you start building up your clientele, and what landed you on the news?
So I don't know. It's just people tagging, people sharing, word of mouth. A lot of friends, family members were ordering from me.
Are you spending money on ads or anything? It's all just straight word of mouth this whole time?
I started doing ads on Instagram. Just like every other month, I would just do it just to like post like,
See what's up?
Yeah. Just
Gotcha.
to try something different.
But that's never been your focus. It's all been like word of mouth, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just people that I know. And then when I go places, I introduce myself. They ask me, what do I do? And I tell them what I do. And then they're like, oh, I want to order. Show them my website. And then they order the next week. And then they become a customer.
That's literally how it happened. You know, Aaron, I go into his office, right? And he's just like, you know, I was like, hey, man, you want some of my food preps? And he was like, no. I was like, why? And he was like, bro, them food preps are doo-doo. I was like, get out of here, Aaron, bro. They're made with love. They're good. You know, they're good.
Yeah.
It's a different sense of how it's cooked. You know, I'm not calling anybody out. I love everyone equally. But, you know, Aaron was like, dude, you got to check out my lady. Literally, like, I was like, okay, you know, and show me your meal. And he busted out. And I'm just like, there's no way that's macro friendly, bro. Like, that's mac and cheese, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how could that be healthy, you know? And so, you know, he was just like, bro, you got to try it out. Gave me a spoonful of it. And I was just like, when can I meet her? Literally, that's how it happened, you know? And I didn't know that you were friends with Cece, right? And she's in like the beauty business.
Yeah.
Has she been a client with you for a long time? How did you guys meet?
I met them. So I know Heather. I went to high school with her husband.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to go get my teeth whitened by her. And then, I don't know.
My older brother and sister went to high school with Heather. That's how I know Heather.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, JR knows Heather too.
Yeah, they used to, I'm pretty sure my brother and sister know JR. But Heather used to come over to my house to pick up weed because my step parents were selling pot at the time. Yeah, that's literally how
Yeah.
it went down. And so
Yeah.
Heather would come and smoke weed with my brother and sister, and I would be there. I think she was like 15 at the time,
Yeah.
and I was like 12.
Oh wow.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, she remembers me. I had long hair. I had
Yeah.
like really long hair. It was all the way down here.
Oh wow.
She used to compliment me on it.
Aw.
Random. But
Yeah.
when I ran into her, she was like, I feel like I know you from somewhere. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, bro. Maybe it was at Hard Bodies before they closed. I'm kidding. But, you know, she was like, no, you're stupid. You know, like,
Yeah.
I know you from somewhere. I told her who my brothers and sisters were. And next thing you know,
Mm-hmm.
big city, small town feel, you
That's
know,
what
and
I'm
I
saying,
love
yeah.
San Antonio, but you
Yeah.
can build a business here.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be nationally known, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to take it that far, for sure, you know what I'm saying. But so how did it happen? You just started getting referral after referral, and next thing you know,
So and then Heather told all the girls at their salon about me, and then their trainer, Mike, started sending me a lot of people too. So I've teamed up with a couple of trainers around town that have sent me a lot of clients.
Nice.
And that's a good way to network too. And then they would go to the cafe, and then I don't know, I guess I'm just very friendly, so I just become friends with like everybody all the time. I just like to talk to people, so they just become my friends. And then the Unity girls for the workout apparel, they came and did a photo shoot at the cafe one day, and that was like really good exposure as well too. So I just
Wow.
try to network as much as I can.
you told me recently that you were cooking at the Spurs something. It was like a Spurs thing.
I'm not gonna be cooking. I'm gonna have a booth.
Oh, a booth.
Yes.
That's what it was. I'm sorry.
So
yeah,
for
yeah.
women, and I think today is International Women's Day. So the month of
You're amazing. Thank you for being a woman. Let's
love
get it.
woman empowerment.
Gang, gang.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm not a woman, but gang, gang.
But hey, you support.
I do.
So they're doing what is it called? It's inspiration night for women, and it's gonna be nothing but women-owned businesses that will have a booth there. And they reached out to me, so they offered me a booth, so I'll be there on Friday.
That's what's up.
Yeah, the Spurs are playing the Nuggets at 7, and then we'll have the booth at by the fan zone. So
That's a good opportunity to get the business out there.
Yeah.
Are you going to be cooking on the spot?
no, they don't. They actually have like rules of like what you can't take.
I see.
Yeah, because it's like they have their own stuff there that they sell. So I'm
that's
just gonna
right, I
have a
forgot about
booth
that.
with like business cards, brochures. I'm gonna do a raffle, so to have people sign up, and then whoever I pick at the end of the day gets free meals for a week.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in marketing for a long time, and you know, it's funny. So like how I got into the business was this loophole that I found in real estate. It was called wholesaling. And the thing about wholesaling is it's not real estate investing. I'm finding people who want to sell a property. That's how it works. So I find someone who wants to sell a property, and then I put a piece of paper on that property that says I'm going to buy it, right?
Okay.
And then I take that piece of paper, because now I have an interest in that property. I sell that interest to someone else, and they take my spot as buyer. So it's like a switcheroo, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, boom, I find the property, I put it under contract, and then I facilitate a buyer coming in and buying that and throwing a fee on top.
Oh, that's
So
a
if you
good
tell me that
deal.
you want
Yeah.
50, like your property for 50 grand, and then I find an investor who's willing to pay me out 55 grand, then he would come in and buy me out of the paperwork for 5K and give you your 5. It's almost like a finder's fee, if you will.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started, right? But the thing what's cool about this business model is it's not real estate investing. Real estate investing, I'm buying a property, I'm taking on all this risk, I'm renovating it, I'm hiring a team to do the construction, we're building it from the ground up, then we list it on the market. So I'm utilizing someone like from the office that you worked at when you did real estate. And then when that person sells the property, they get paid a commission, I get all my money back, and then I get a small return on my investment, and then I move on to the next one. Right? That's real estate investing. All I did was flip paper. So what I learned so much from that business was, bro, marketing is everything. While everyone else was focusing on sending out text messages and cold calling and stuff, I would go to networking events and find other people that were doing what I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
I made a lot of money my first few years in business doing just that, just going to networking events, which you can, you know, so like if you're listening to this and you're not going to networking events, you're totally sleeping on so many opportunities. You getting that vendor booth, you know, I'm just going to say this and speak this into existence. She's going to be there with food at our event. So y'all should come through. My event is August 17th and 18th. It's me and my boy, Aaron Bevins. We're going to be hosting the March.
Wait,
I'm
you
so
said
sorry.
April?
it is March.
Yeah, we're still in April.
We're
still in
I'm
March.
sorry. It's
Yeah.
March 17th through 18th. at the Norris Conference Center here in San Antonio, Texas. If you haven't gotten your tickets, you need to. We're going to have a lot of amazing people there. I might come out of retirement and start spitting fire for you guys. Aaron told me that I couldn't. I'm going to go on stage and breathe fire, and I'm going to light up a pineapple.
To do that? Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like rapping by spitting fire.
No. When I say spit fire, like I literally like a dragon.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
There was a different life that I was in before all of this.
Okay.
We could talk about it, though. But I was real into the art scene, you know?
Oh, okay.
But, you know, marketing is such a universal truth, and it's clearly how you've been able to build such success, you know, and you've only been doing this for what? You said 2019 you started, you had your daughter and everything, and now, 4 years into the game? You have multiple people. I'm one of your clients, you know what I'm saying? And it's like we got you have like an ecosystem now. Like people are coming in and buying your product, right? How have you been able to like retain clients aside from like do you do special? Reason why I'm asking is because the other day, no, it was yesterday. Yesterday you texted me and you like gave me like a special or something. I forgot what it was. I didn't even read the whole text message.
I just
said thanks.
Read it. Yeah, because I told my husband I was coming to the podcast, and he said I went to high school with Quentin, and he was like, I'm gonna take care of the rest of his meals.
See,
so that's how you got the discount, because he's paying for it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to JR, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I tried I got you came from Aaron, so I gave Aaron and Cece a discount, and then Brittany, like I just give discounts like for referrals, and then I do a lot for like last minute orders. I'll do like a special code for like my online orders too. So those are just like little discounts that I give here and there. And then like Valentine's Day, I did goodie bags. For Christmas, I did like a little discount code. So I just do like little things like that every time.
How do you plan like vacations and stuff around this? I just wanted to know.
It has to be during the week.
I see.
And then on the weekends, I have to be prepared for it. I have to like plan my vacations. Yeah.
I see. One of the questions that I'm sure people would have, because it's a question that I have as far as like the scheduling and stuff goes, you know, like what's the hardest part about all of this? Like, what would you say has been the most challenging part, and what have you kind of structured around it to make it a little bit easier as far as how you keep this momentum going?
Yeah,
you know?
Taking time off. I don't know how to take time off. I'm like a workaholic. Yeah, and I've already been like burned out by that, you know?
I see.
But I'm trying to learn to take a vacation at least like in the summer 1 week, you know, but my busy times are always the beginning of the year when everybody sets their goals for like losing weight, getting back into fitness. See. So like the first 6-7 months of the year, I can't really do anything. It's more towards like Thanksgiving and Christmas where I can take some time off.
I see.
Yeah.
It's good to plan like that, you know. Yeah. It really helps you out. Like, you know, my partner and I, like Aaron, we're very 5 inches in front of us, and we don't look at meters when we should be. Like, what's further, right? And you know, and it's all good. I think it is I'm not gonna say it's a sacrifice. It's a characteristic that people who have go-getter mentality have, and that's just facts. Like, you're gonna be in the moment at all times, trying to figure out how you can pivot in any situation. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've had moments in my life, in my business, where I had to like, it was either fight or flight. Like, I don't lose, bro. Like, I will learn if I'm kicked back, but I don't give up. Yeah. You truthfully lost when you've given up, you know? Yeah. And so like, I have that problem, even at my level. And where I'm at, I have 18 different companies. That's how many businesses that I'm running right now. I have my main 4, which is warehousing, production, real estate, and e-commerce. Virtual staffing, I'm sorry. And I love what we're doing, you know, but at the same time, it's like I have no time. At the same time, I have no time, which is pretty funny. But it's all right. You know, you want to live a certain type of lifestyle. Sometimes you got to sacrifice for a little while. You've been doing this for 4. I've been in business almost a decade. Literally, I believe in November, it'll be 10 years since I decided to go to my first seminar. And that's the day that I count that actually changed my life. When I went to a seminar, I learned so much. I wanted to ask you about that. Do they have seminars for food prep businesses, or do you have like a course or something that you've gone through?
I learned a lot about marketing when I was in real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I learned a lot about like how to talk to people. I had to make calls all the time. So at first I was always like really scared and shy, you know, and then I got that confidence, and now I'm able to like speak about what I'm passionate about. So I learned a lot from real estate, like about sales and marketing and networking. So that helped me
I can
a lot.
tell it's how it's probably been. I mean, like that's what's so amazing. You get skill sets, and then you don't even know when they're going to be useful, and then you're like, yo, I'm so glad I learned that. You know, I did this video online. Have you ever seen that movie Kill Bill?
I think I've seen like parts of it.
It's an old school movie. I can't believe it's old school. It came out 20 years ago, I think in 2003. That's crazy, bro. I'm getting old, man. Anyway, when I saw that movie, there's this part in that movie where there's this ancient Chinese master who's teaching her how to do a 5-inch punch. Okay. And so she has to break through a piece of wood that's 5 inches in front of her. So the distance between the tip of her fingers and her knuckles is all she can do. So she's like going to punch it, right? And she's like, oh, that shit hurts. Like, how are you going to do this? Like, when is this ever going to be necessary? Yeah. And Paime tells her, he's like, what are you going to do when your enemy's 5 inches in front of you? What are you going to do? Right? Are you going to just fold and cry? Or are you going to rip his heart out? And he like from 5 inches does the same punch and rips the whole piece of wood out with like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's like a kung fu movie. Yeah. Later on in the movie, guess what happens? She gets buried underneath the ground 6 feet deep, and she's stuck inside of a coffin. And the only difference between her is 5 inches in front of her. And so she starts punching her way out, and she crawls out of the dirt, and she ends up surviving. I mean, I know that sounds like such a crazy thing to learn in a freaking movie, but talk about a skill set that we all thought was pointless being used and amplified toward the end of that story. Yeah. And so, you know, real estate is a phenomenal business, you know, and I'm sure that the food prep business, there's definitely some characteristics that bleed into each other. So you mentioned that like you have a place that you're cooking out of and stuff, right?
It's just a commercial kitchen that I rent out for now.
What is a commercial kitchen? I've never heard of that before.
So a lot of meal prep services use it. Yeah, it's literally you just pay like a monthly fee. You
like an office.
It's not like it's like an office, but with a whole bunch of restaurant equipment, and it's divided into 4. So there's actually 4 kitchens in one building.
You cook with other people in there?
It just depends if they have it scheduled that way. You go online, you schedule the hours and times that you need, so they block it off for you. And then there's like commercial refrigerators there too. So you go in with all your supplies and produce that you need for the day, and then you have that certain amount of time to finish. And then if you go over the time, you just pay like a little fee.
So whenever you text me, you're like almost done cooking. You're literally almost done cooking, and you're gonna deliver my food to me?
No, yeah, literally. I'm literally like Iron Chef or like those cooking channels. Yes. Like the time is ticking. That's literally my life every time.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I have 10 minutes, and then I have 15 minutes to get there, and then I have like 3 more stops. So I have to time everything. Everything is timed. My whole life is timed.
Well, that's a good thing though. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I plan that far ahead, man.
I have to. And then I'm like, and then I have 30 minutes to pick up my daughter, and she's going to be thirsty. So I have to pack her a drink and a snack, stuff like that.
So the food choices that you have, and then the menu that you created, did you design your own menu and all of the food that you're like?
Yeah, I just come up with different meals.
I see.
It just depends. Like sometimes I have people that want like specific things, and they're just like, I want this specific thing, but you make it like your own style. And I'm like, okay. And then they like it. So I'm like, cool.
I'm at a point right now in what I'm doing where it's like, hold on, let me mute this. I'm at a point right now in what I'm doing in my business where I'm like, you know, I'm trying, like, I loved eating the same. When I say I ate the same thing for a long time, my meals never changed. I ate the same thing for a long time. It was almost like my body was getting used to it. Yeah. You know, and so then like I come into your world and I'm starting to taste the food that you have, you know. And I guess the question that I have is, how did you come up with the menu? I mean, I know you said that you like just kind of create these things, right? But like, I'm just assuming that it costs a lot to make what you give me. Like you really price your food out?
I buy everything in bulk.
I see.
Yeah, I buy everything in bulk. I've gotten a lot of tips from my parents since they own restaurants. Like they know about ordering, pricing, like your loss, your profit. So I talk to my dad a lot about, I have an idea. I'm like, I want to make pot roasts for the meal prep. And he's like, well, how much is it going to cost you for the protein? And I'm like, I need this many pounds. And he's like, okay. And then how much is each container going to cost you? How many potatoes are you going to need? And then we literally like break it down to each meal. And then he's like, make sure you're making 3 times the profit of what you're spending. So that's literally my dad. Yeah.
I wanted to know, because I think this is super cool. When your dad, when you were running that restaurant with your parents, Did you get a chance to see all that?
No.
The food stuff?
No, I'm telling you, I hated it.
Okay.
I hated it. I hated being there. I would cry and I would go
Oh my
hide.
God.
And I wanted to be at Fiesta, Texas with my friends. I was 12 years old. Like I wanted to go have fun in the summer, and I was working all the time. But I never was there when they would do like the math and you know, like all the accounting things at the end of the night. I was never there for that. Now I feel like I have a closer bond with them. And my mom just freaks out when I send her pictures of all the meals that I've cooked. And she's just like, I cannot believe you're doing this for a living. Like, you hated the restaurant business your whole life. And look at you now.
I'm sure this is different than a restaurant, right?
It is. Well, when I had the cafe, it was kind of like my own restaurant because I had a menu for dine-in, and then I had my meal preps. So I was doing everything from there. And my parents would come and just like make sure that I was okay. But
Are they still in the restaurant business?
now they just do to-go food only.
Oh, cool.
For like they have a small kitchen, kind of going towards like Poteet for like 18-wheelers. So it's just a bunch of truck drivers that stop by and get food to go. They're a lot older now, so it's just like they start at 6 a.m. and they're done by 1.
You know, I had my biological father up until I was about 12, and then my mom got a boyfriend and then remarried, and this is the guy that raised me. You know, my dad was never really there for me. So when I got older and I had this guy in my life, his name's Tony Bustamante. He's a phenomenal guy. He's basically like my dad. If you're hearing this, I love you. And he's really just like poured a lot of hustle into me. Kind of taught me how to sell weed when I was younger, you know? And so I'd say that really kind of like, oh, this is good money, you know?
Yeah.
And it may have like landed me into a bad spot, and I got out of it eventually. And that was like, by the time I was 23, 24, I was already moving away from being a drug dealer. I sold weed. I wasn't like a drug dealer, you know, but I guess that makes me a drug dealer. Whatever.
Weed is a drug.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know, but I wasn't hurting anybody, damn it.
Yeah.
Most of my freaking customers were like potheads. Anyways, I think all of them just did that. Reason why I'm telling you this is because he is the head chef for the Marriott, and now head chef for SAWS. So he just transferred over. He's doing San Antonio water supply when you're an employee there. They have showers there. There's a gym in the facility, and there's a full-blown kitchen, and he designs the menus, which I think is super cool, you know, because every time he always tells me I need to go to SAWS sometime and eat there and just hang out with him.
The food is good, yeah.
Yeah, so he makes amazing food, but he told me the same thing, that he buys for the restaurant and because it's a whole hotel, right, that he was at. You think about how many guests are you going to have this month, and then you calculate the amount of people based on a percentage or a certain figure, and then you go out and you look where you can source the meat at like wholesale price.
Yeah.
And then you buy these giant chunks of like steak and roast and chicken, and then you just start filleting it and cutting it up and weighing it out and portioning it, you know?
Yeah.
But I never knew, like, now, like you telling me this is making me remember this, you know?
It just makes sense to make
Do you
a bigger
portion your food
profit.
like that too?
Yeah, you have to. So that way you know how long you're going to be cooking for.
That's crazy, man. Now, like, so you have a time, right? Like, what it takes to cook. Do you cook for one person, or do you cook for everybody all at once?
So I started doing on Fridays for my online orders. Their food gets delivered doorstep Saturday mornings from 8 to 1. And then I do the custom meals for you guys and then other customers too that have like personal trainers on Mondays.
Did you see that Uber delivers for you now?
What do you mean?
Like, you can have Uber deliver for you.
Yeah, I seen that, but since my husband owns a delivery service,
Never mind.
we got the delivery part down. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we kind of work together when it comes to that.
That's awesome. So like, you have like a system in place, right?
Yes.
And what days are you cooking out of the week?
Just Fridays and Mondays.
Fridays and Mondays.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And then the rest of the week, you're pretty much good. You're not dropping off food.
It just depends. Because like I said, I don't like to say no. So then I'll have like people be like, "Oh my God, I tried my friend's food and it's good. Can I place an order? Can I get it tomorrow?" You know, and just to get them like in the system, you know, I'll be like, "Okay, I'll do it for you," and then I'll just do their meals like really quick. And then I'll tell them, "You want to order again? It's gonna be Saturday's deliveries or Monday." So I let them choose. But yeah, for now, I'm trying to give myself a little bit more time during the week to do things like this, like network, go to events, you know, like stuff like that.
Podcasts.
So, yeah.
I love this. This is super cool because it's like a different look, and there's so many different people that I've had with different businesses here. I've had a chick that goes to networking events that try to be a real estate person, and now she runs people's social medias in the real estate space. I had a friend on this show that lost 400 pounds. I had another guy that came in, and he was just like, he talked about how he got like a very specific type of loan from the government that helped him start his real estate business. Oh, wow. And this is my first time talking to somebody that's like in the food prep situation, the business. And I think it's super awesome, because this is a form of entrepreneurship. Yeah. In my eyes, you're doing this is like, let's be real, man. Food is hormonal. Food is a very hormonal thing. And you eat good, you feel good. And it actually should add on to your day, not take away from it.
Yeah.
When you eat crappy food, what's going to happen? You're going to feel crappy.
Exactly. I posted that the other day.
Dang. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about.
I did.
I've been feeling crappy for quite some time now, but I feel better now.
Cool. I'm glad.
I have you to thank. I called you yesterday. You almost had a heart attack.
I was so scared. My heart dropped. I was like,
what'd you think I was going to say?
I don't even know. I just don't know. I deal with so many people all the time that I just don't know. Like, I don't ever know what to expect when people call me or text me. When they're like, hey, babe, my heart drops every time because I'm just like, what happened?
What is it?
It's always like, what happened, because I'm always on my toes about like customer service, making sure everybody's happy. That's my thing.
I've had nothing but a phenomenal experience. 1010 would recommend. Your food's amazing and the customer service is unparalleled. Thanks. And you take it straight to my office. So I'm like damn happy about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Just keep people happy.
Yes, 10x that. So this is obviously entrepreneurship, right? What has been the most valuable thing that you've learned to appreciate with this line of work?
That I'm genuinely helping a lot of people with their health. When I went on the news, it was an early morning show, right? So a lot of people were blowing up my phone after we aired.
Wow.
And it was a lot of older people, like senior citizen, like they're in the hospital, they have like health issues, and they were just trying to, or their children were like reaching out for them because their parents are old, they can't cook anymore, they can't do things. So I started focusing a lot on that too. And I have a few customers that are like 83, 86 years old, and I deliver to them and their kids order for them. So like they'll order for them, they pay online, and they tell me, it's my mom, can you please knock, because like she won't hear the doorbell or whatever. And she'll be like, oh, it's my mom's birthday. So I'll put like a little note like happy 84th birthday,
Wow.
Stuff like that. So it just makes me happy that people are trusting me with their own parents, and they're old and they just want them to eat healthy. Because for an example, one of them called me and she was like, I live in California, my mom lives in San Antonio. She was like, I don't get to see her that often, but she's been eating frozen pies for like the past 3 months. Like that's all she's been eating. And she's like, I didn't realize until I went to go visit her for the holidays that her freezer was full of like frozen food, and she just microwaves it. So she reached out. You can find me on Yelp. So she found me on Yelp. She called me. We had like a 5-minute talk, and I was like, I can help your mom. Like whatever your mom needs, like I'll cook for her. So I've been cooking for her for about 2 years already.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wow.
She's like my grandma. I don't know. I'm like, hi, Joanne. She'll call me. Hi, Maria. Like, I liked the chicken salad. Can I have the chicken salad again next week? I'm like, yes. So
I think that's got to be the most heartwarming shit I've ever heard on this show. Like, I'm like trying not to cry. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it makes me happy that I'm able to do that and that people trust me like that. So
I think that's amazing. And that's damn for sure how you're going to get a whole bunch of more business, man.
Yeah.
You keep putting your love into your craft and you keep putting your heart into your passion. Other people are going to see it. It's going to be contagious. It's going to draw more opportunity to you. You're cooking for 2 people who are multimillionaires, myself and my partner, Aaron. We've been there. Like we're doing great things in our space. And if there's one thing that both he and I agree on in our business is that our level of service is unparalleled. We want to be able to give. We want to help people build an income for themselves. We want people who are surrounded by us to learn and become better, and so that they can go off and support the people that they love. And we are at the center of this giant thing where it's just like, we're doing all of this stuff so that we can help people and impact people, because that is what's going to make you the most money.
Yeah.
Impact over income every time. Do you are so like, and I have one more question, going into all of this stuff, it's been amazing to know this, right? Have you always like thought that you were going to own your own business one day?
I know that I never wanted to work for other people.
Where did that come from? Did that come from growing up on the South Side?
That's just growing up working since I was 12 years old.
I see.
Yeah, I've always made money.
I think that's crazy that that you were working that young. I didn't start working until I was like 15, 16.
Yeah, my parents would pay me and I would go shopping because what else am I going to spend money on when I'm 12, right?
Yeah.
So I had like all this name brand stuff, and people at school used to think that I was spoiled because my parents owned a restaurant, so they would just buy me whatever I wanted. And I'm like, no, go every weekend. Like, I'm there. Like, that's all I spend my money on.
You're working.
Yeah, so I've always been like that since I was little, growing up.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Look at you now with your own business and stuff.
I'm ready to retire. I just
Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. Sometimes you have to build a system in place, and once your business operates without you, it's a very beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
And it takes time, but you're already on track to get there. And who knows? Maybe the thing about it is you're never going to operate. It's not going to operate fully without you. You're still going to have some form of control because you are the one who created it, right? And so it just takes time. That's all. And you're on the right track. And I fully believe in what you're doing. You got a customer for life with me.
Thank you.
Maybe 5 years is my premise of a life, but who knows?
Oh, you're going to last a life. So you're going to be my next Joanne.
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. I'm excited to see it. For everybody that's watching, man, where can they find you and purchase your product or add you, talk to you, follow you?
So I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all social media. It's all the same, Maria's Meal Preps _. So my website's mariasmealpreps.com. Really easy. You can order on Mondays, and we're out for delivery on Saturday morning.
She's amazing, guys. Y'all make sure you hit her up with the follow. I'm going to drop all of her links in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yay, I survived.
Let's get it. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Yay.